You are listening to A Lifestyle of Divine Encounters, a featured teaching from Patricia Bootsma, narrated by Patricia Bootsma.
Hello, everyone. This is Patricia, and we are going to talk today about the very exciting topic of how to hear God's voice. I believe that this is so important to the walking out of the fullness of our calling, the fullness of our destiny, that we learn to be ones that hear God and absolutely become attuned to his voice. Now, when I was a child growing up, I actually grew up in a Canadian farm. My dad was a farmer, but also a real estate broker. But I had some prophetic experiences. I might share some of them in some of these recordings. But even when I was 8 years old, just had this prophecy from these two people that I don't even know who they were, but they started to speak over me some things that was going to come in my future, which really I'm living right now. They talked about telling people about Jesus. They talked about the whole aspect of leading people to Jesus and traveling the world. And I'm 8 years old. I didn't even become a believer until I was 12 years old. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, well, like I'm a girl and I grew up in a church where women didn't do anything but make tea and put out the cake, So I'm thinking, first of all, I must be disqualified because I'm actually a female to do all this preaching and telling people about Jesus. And yet there was something that burned in my heart, the burning of knowing this was supernatural, that this had to be God. And so I always had this desire to follow God's will for my life. I had this desire to know him. And so even as a child, I would ride my pony to the back of the field and just say, God, I want to hear you. And God, I want to know your nearness. I want to know your voice. And so over the years of pressing into this and asking God to speak to me, I want to just teach you some of the things that I learned about hearing the voice of God. Again, I believe so important to the fulfillment of our calling and our destiny. Well, let's first of all look at this scripturally, because when we talk about anything prophetic or anything at all, we want to make sure that it is from the Word, that we are always in the Word of God, that we're never outside of the Word of God. But listen to this verse in John 10:27. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And again, other references, verse 16, the same chapter, and they will hear my voice. Now, when Jesus is talking this beautiful analogy in biblical times, the shepherds of different flocks of sheep would put all of their sheep.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?